Release my head. Ha, 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 ha. Dum dum doo dum doo doo dum. Dum dum doo dum doo doo dum. Just release my head. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah. Just release with Andre Wade. Once again, come to reminisce about some things. Yeah. Yeah. Fights don't never end in prison with everybody. See, them fights can go on and on. Yeah. I pray peace upon y'all families today. I pray peace upon those who are incarcerated, men, women, and teenagers. Yeah. I've been laid up, had my old my old leg had bothered me so it was hurting me so much today because a few weeks ago I fell on it and it's kind of acting up. I pray to God that it's not infected. So tomorrow I get opportunity to talk to my doctor and see what's going on. But how y'all been? How y'all been out there? Yeah. I know it's been hot. It's been hot down here in Houston. It's been hot. I'm talking about the sun was out earlier today, and the sun went down, and it was still hot. I mean, it was still hot. I mean, man, if I go from my room to the kitchen, I'm busting out sweat like a bulldog. We got AC in the house. Boy, I pray for those that's incarcerated, that's on them units that don't have no air. Don't have no air. They got them fans, and them fans really ain't about nothing. You got to be living around it. I remember when I first went to ESAM, and I used to know these two guys. Before I even must got to ESAM, these dudes was fighting on site. And see, that's what it be like when you got so much built up in yourself towards somebody else that's not right. You know, that envy, that enviousness. Or he done beat you up. These guys, I'm talking about coming down the hallway. One coming from this way, one going that way. They spot one another. It wasn't no talk. It was straight up fight. They fights never end, and the warden seen where these guys wasn't gonna stop fighting. They wasn't gonna stop fighting. He had to ship one of them, and they didn't. They hated to ship people back then. You know, you can be on a unit 20 years on one unit. You can stay on in one cell that long, but you never know. You get into it with somebody, right? You get into it with somebody. Let's say this person, he really uh, one of them kind that really likes to bring harm on people, and you get into it with them, right? Well, you want to try to really stay away from them kind of people. And the majority of the time, when most people get into it with them kind of people, it be because they mouth, your mouth, right? They be looking for that right excuse to be able to have a fight with you so they can be that kind of person towards you. Cause people in prison, them men try to hurt you, man. Even in women prison. I remember I went to the Justice Ford. Justice Ford is a psych unit, and I went to Justice Ford trying to get out a case, a fighting case, matter of fact. You know, if you go to Justice Ford, and you stay there long enough, they'll delete the case against you. But because I was coming up for parole, so I tried to get myself out of it. I got myself out of it. I still got a penalty, but it was a minor penalty. And yeah, I lost that fight. That was the only fight I ever lost in prison. The only fight I ever lost in prison. And the dude's name was Baby Tyson. They called him Baby Tyson. But what made me really mad, I had another partner that whooped Baby Tyson. Yeah, he whooped Baby Tyson. They had me kind of hot. But I went on and accept that loss. I accept that loss. See, because we got to accept losses like we accept wins. See, if you in there beating somebody up every fight you have, and finally somebody beats you up, you can't be want to kill him. You accept that loss unless he done really did some harm to you, yeah. But if y'all just fighting, because you gonna fight. Fight gonna come to you. A fight gonna come to you because somebody gonna disrespect you. Somebody gonna speak out, not even familiar with you. That's why I stopped playing uh, Big Six. I stopped playing dominoes because that's where most of my drama came from. Playing free dominoes, free. They argue at the domino table. They'll call you out. They'll call you out of your name at the domino table, and you don't want to be caught up in that because that's where you find your enemies at. That's where you create your enemies at. Let's say you get into it with a gang member, right? At the domino table. Well, some of them gang members ain't trying to hear that about, no. Go on, fight that dude, man. Go fight that dude. And then they'll make you fight every day. They'll make you fight every day. Yeah. And if you whooping them every day, they're going to eventually click on you because they ain't going to have them getting whooped every day by you. There's somebody going to jump in that feel like they can whoop you. And most likely he probably could because uh, it just be like that in prison. You got some guys that, you know, better fighters. Bigger guy, they'll put a big guy on a little guy if you whooping they partners all the time. Yeah, nah, man, they're gonna try to do something. But what I'm giving you is this. This is what I'm giving you. You have to stay out the way. You have to learn how to stay out the way if you go to prison. And it's so easy. It's so easy. It's easy to stay out the way. Stay out the law's way, because they'll whoop you too. They'll whoop you too. And guess what? If you one of them kind of dudes that always get into it with the laws, they shooting down there, y'all. They shooting down there. And I started to go down there. I started to go to the park. They down there shooting. It's crazy. It's crazy. If it ain't fighting, they shooting. You can't just really go nowhere and not entertain something that don't mean nothing. See, when I go out, right, I really I don't look for no drama. I don't look for no drama, okay? I learned how to mind my own business out here and in prison. It's so easy for me. I did so many years without fighting because I stayed out their way. I stayed out their way, and when they get in your way, see, it's a difference when they get in your way. Now we have to uh, entertain them when they into yours. That's your business. Cause you can say, well, man, that's my business. Ain't got nothing to do with you. And they might say, yeah, it's got my business. It's got my. And that's because they want to take it to another level. They want to take it to another level. And like I say, it's some characters, man, in prison, man, that they can't accept losses, man. And you might be one of them too that I'm talking to. You can't accept it. But sooner or later, we have to grow up and learn how to accept it, because guess what? It can escalate to a knife play. It can escalate if you're on one of them old units, right? And they got bars, and you laying there sleep. You ain't even got up for breakfast or nothing. So it's breakfast time. It's so easy to throw something on you. It's so easy to catch you when the doors roll and run in there and stab you. Even on the new units, they a lot of officers, they don't make sure all the doors are closed, right? When they open the door, they don't make sure all the doors are closed. So somebody can come into your cell. I never forget, man. I had to sell him. He was out of Waco. He was really out of Valley Mills, but he was from Florida. And old Flowers, that's what they call him, Flowers. And Flowers, he had them hands. Marcel, he had them hands. He really did. And his whole family was Bloods, but he wasn't no Blood. He never uh, became a Blood, but his father, his mother, everybody was father and his mother and was ex-Bloods. But his sister and his brother and them, they was Bloods. And so he got into it with some Bloods, and he went and helped violated one of the Bloods, which was a violation. That was a violation. He wasn't supposed to do that. But at the time, the unit and the Bloods over there, they wasn't just so much solid together like the Mandingo Warriors. Over there on this unit, the Mandingo Warriors, they ran the unit. They ran the unit. There was so many of them. And well, the Bloods did something that they took up on their own initiative to do, which they wasn't supposed to do. They ran in on my celly while he was asleep. But they didn't try to stab him. They just put their hands on him. But I live there. I live there too. And but I knew the Blood dudes, and I knew the little dude. See, the little dude who he got into it with, they wasn't seeing eye to eye at the time. It was overlooked and laughed upon. Truly, my boy laughed it out because ain't none of them want to do one-on-one with him that came in the cell. But I'm gonna tell you what happened. The leader of the one of the shot callers of the Blood. Damn, that's another shot. Oh Lord, I hope nobody gets shot up there. I don't I hope it's they just shooting in the air. I hope ain't no, but you'll know after a while if you hear them sirens. But uh, the one that came in there that made the call to come in there on him, he had a cousin that was on the unit. Now his cousin lost every fight that he had. Lost every fight that he had. He didn't have anything. So they made this boy out of Blood. They made him out of a Blood. And so what he did was somebody talked him into cutting all his hair off his head. He went bald, and he put in his head Crip Killer. He put Crip Killer in his head, bald headed, where all them boys can see. And them Crips over there, they wasn't playing, they wasn't about all that game stuff. So I know y'all hold up 1 minute. Look like I don't know if my old producer was up there because he running. It looked like he speeding to the house or something. But I can't back nobody up no more. I got one leg. I got to stay out the way. I can't even be in the facility of something that's going off like that. Cause how I'm gonna get away? I'm trying to get away in a wheelchair, so I just stay away. I sit in my yard, and I don't think it's good for me to go to the park late at night or in the dark. I got to leave the park when it start getting dark. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be up there, but I don't see nobody running down there or anything. But it could have been going on in the front. You got two different types of people. You got the neighborhood people hanging out at the park, and you got some people in the front of the store that hangs out there. That's not from the neighborhood, but they don't come to the park though. Uh, but anyway, the man put Crip killing in his head. So soon as they called it chow, he walking down the bowling alley, and one of them Crips seen that in his head. Soon he got in the chow, they bust his wig. Bam! Bust his wig. Now the other blood, his cousin, didn't know at that time that they had done that. And he said, "Man, who put that in my kinfolk head?" And when he found out, he acted out. Fights don't end, man. Fights don't end in the penitentiary. They don't end. They escalate to something else all the time. You know, you might beat him up, and here it is, somebody coming to your cell telling you, "Hey man, D Town, look, say man, go to rec yard tonight, 'cause that ain't over." And you ain't got that kind of strong force behind you that he had. You just whooped him. But now you find out he got all these dudes wanting to whoop you, and all this here fight go on. But you can delete fighting somebody. You can get out of fighting somebody. Staying out the way. Staying out the way. I know it would be hard sitting in a cell and not going to the day room. But you can go to the day room and mind your own business. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you. I knew some guys, man. You have San Antonio, you got Funky Town, you got Deep Town, you got Houston, man, you got Amarillo. Everybody in this day room is from somewhere else, but everybody is mingling together. You know, some of my day room partner was Big Shot Town, uh, 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 Shot Town. I had little San Antonio, several San Antonio. Them little old San Antonio dudes, they cut for me. But I had one that was out of San Antonio, and man, we used to argue all the time. But that was my boy. He was he was something else, and his feelings for a woman was not right. Was not right, and we used to just we was all right, man. And I was safe among the people that I hung around in the day rooms. I was safe, and I had been there uh, a while. I had been there on most units that I had been to. I did at least more than 2 years on after my Eastham days, because they sent me over here to Gatesville. They sent me over here to Amarillo. They done sent me to Abilene. And I'm from Houston. I'm from Houston. I wasn't taking none of that. Snowing. Oh, no, I wasn't handling that. But I tell y'all, when you tell somebody about Just Release, tell them hit that like button. Tell them hit that like button. Because ain't no telling what I might come back with next. But I want to hit some viewers with, because a lot of y'all been to prison, right? And but I don't get that interview pressure from a lot of y'all. I get some from the same people that want to do videos. I mean interviews. Where y'all at in H Town? Where y'all at in D Town? In San Antonio? I'm talking to you Texas ex-prisoners. You know, and I'm talking to the ex-prisoner that's out of state or out of the country. We have to we have to come together with this. We have to come together with this because so many of us have stories that took place in our lives in prison. I know some of the ones Yeah. And that's so much right? Because I want to correct myself because I'm not only talking to uh, people that have been to prison because so many of us done had loved ones to go to prison. So the the interviews is open to everybody. The interviews are open to everybody. You know, because if you have something that you want to say, then the people need to hear it. The people need to hear it because we can't justify of what's taking place in prison unless somebody speak out. Okay. Oh man, we got somebody flying right now towards the park. So I don't know, but I don't hear no sirens. But this is the thing I want to tell y'all. I talked to my brother, right? And I told you my brother is on Styles Unit. And Style Unit was really out there when I was over there. But it's still out there, but not as wild as it was when I was there. So my brother was telling me that, they feed bad over there, right? So he said that they feed bad and they only have but half of the unit to feed because they ship the whole B side. And I told you B side is medium custody and close custody. So now you're dealing with only minimum custody on that unit, which was a maximum security facility, but it's not now. So he told me that the dudes over there on B side was making videos, because they have phones over there. They can't stop that. And he said they was making videos all on the videos. So the the director of that region shipped that whole side. He shipped that whole side, and then he told me that the punks, the punks over there was having, because they got a garment factory. A garment factory is where they make clothes and they make all kind of stuff. So the punks was making outfits that fit tight, tight, tight. Yeah, out of control, out of control. See, and here it is. Yeah, they they so focused. All right, Conroe in the house. All right, much love. Yeah, much love. Dre Dog in the house. Dre Dog in the house. It was so hot, right? It was so hot, and I was watching TV and stuff, and I wanted to do some videos earlier, but I couldn't get into it because it was so hot and I was sweating. I had been cleaning up and everything, and then I was in pain. I took some pills, and I was out of there. And I woke up because my lady friend, she done figured out we can talk and look at one another. Boy, she wearing me out. She wearing me out, but I ain't mad. I ain't mad. I like looking at her and talking to her, but I don't hardly be talking. She be doing all the talking. But when you done years, you don't mind of this kind of relationship because so many of us we be locked up and we be wanting us a relationship with one woman. With one woman. She think I just want talking to all kind of women. But I don't. I don't. I got one leg. Yeah, it was hot today, man. It was hot. It was hot. So how y'all think them boys feel and them women feel and them teenagers feel that's incarcerated and don't have no air in them facilities that they are in? But they running around making videos. They running around making outfits in a place where they sweating like bulldogs. They need, see, that's why we have prison channels out here in society because we the only ones that can speak out for them. We have to speak out for them. So if you have something that you want to give, And like I say, you don't have to be in the prison. You can, you can get it. You can, hey, burn it up there in Atlanta. And I know all prisons, you know, and it got that same. Yeah, I feel you. You know, when I was I was locked up on East Ham, and we had to lay it down. They had us out there working in them fields, hitting on it, picking cotton. Then in winter came, they got us all down there by the river. It's cold, and while we got some little jackets and some old cotton gloves, shit, we laid it down. The warden asked me, he said, "Well, wait, why you lay it down?" I said, "Well, warden, I say it's cold down there." And what if he'd say, I know when it's cold. Yeah. Talking about, I say, well, warden, if it was 42 over here by the building, I know it was at least 39 down there by the river. Shit, man, you talking about, yeah. He said, what you gonna do? You going to work? I say, man, what I'm gonna go to work for? Look like everybody laying it down. Got a major case. I wasn't tripping. Because guess what? When we did go to work, we had them green, thick jackets. You have to stand up for something. The system was so bad, y'all heard Pistol Pete being raped by bill attendants. He said 3 bill attendants raped him, right? Because that's the way the system was. You had inmates running the prison. I'm talking about running, racking you up. And they walk by there and say, all the lights out. Then you better not be talking. Yeah. But the system down here in Texas, it's done changed throughout the years. And if it changed because of sacrifices that inmates did in the past, you look at the white boys, right? Let's talk about the white boys. The white boys had it so hard here in the Texas prison. They had it hard, but all the officers basically was white, right? But they wasn't in the white boy favor because the white boys wasn't fighting back. They wasn't fighting back. They was crying. Man, they thought they took my, yeah, they go tell they took my cover saying. He so the lieutenant tell me you need to go down there and fight and get it back. They came in the system already scared, so it didn't no courage come out of them. But you had some guys, some white boys, they was fighting. They was fighting. They was fighting. And I know some. I know some white boys that made it a way for the white boys that's going into the system today of not getting they booty took, not getting they character taken out, and they still come in scary. They still come in scary because some are coming in so young, and they send them to them units where it's kind of rowdy. Yeah, they did. They it's so much flip, right? But to have somebody to be scared of you, you have to really do some things to them in order for them to be afraid of you. So, man, they flying down there, man. They out of control. They out of control. Ain't going nowhere. Ain't going. He going to a crack high. He flying down here to go buy him some dope. Let me see. He made a stop. No, he made a turn. The characters in society is just as messed up as so many of them that's in prison. You know, so many of them is messed up, and it's sad because Some of them are fathers and grandfathers, grandmothers and mothers, man. It messed up, man, and you can't, you can't do nothing but pray and give it to God. But when you come in contact with people, you just have to give them something positive. Period. You just can't, it's just like in prison. Back in the day, they knew that if that white boy go sit on that front bench, what was going to happen to him. So they let him sit on that front bench instead of say, man, you can't sit up there, man. So people on our surrounding of people will let things happen to them, and knowing that that was going to happen to them because they was out of line. And this goes on all over in all prisons. But I remember when men, the white boys down here in Texas, wrote the people in San Francisco about the blacks raping them on East Ham. Yeah, I read that article. It was some dude, some white boy, they got together. Yeah, they they sneaked that out. Seriously, they they sneaked these kites out to these people that was trying to help the Texas system from the way that it was. All right, Longview, Texas. Oh, Longview, Texas up in there. Yeah. Greetings to y'all. Yeah. Uh, that was the old East Ham. It wasn't East Ham that they have built today that I was on. The old and Clyde escaped it from East Ham. They raped Clyde down there. They raped Clyde. Clyde was crying to get off of East Ham because they was raping him. You know what I'm saying? And when we used to go out there to the old East Ham, we would uh we would go where the ditch that he was hid up under, and I think it was Bunny and his brother and them that came and got him from over there. He finally got away from there, and but that's the way the system was. Man, I'm talking about it. I don't know what's going on out here, but hey, it look like it's rowdy tonight. It's like it's rowdy tonight. Everybody, this man here come around the corner like they was after him. But hey, fights don't end in prison because the mindset of the offenders that's within the walls. And it's gonna always be a fight. You can it's it's hard to do 90 days practically in prison without fighting when you get there. So it's not saying that you have to go in and fight everybody that said something to you that you feel that wasn't right. But I know if they was trying, man, man, I couldn't hard to see. I ain't got my glasses with me. Shoot that at me again, please. Shoot that at me again. Let me catch that. But you don't be a coward. Don't be scared. And whenever you do, don't give up your booty, cause they not gang raping. Ain't nobody trying. They giving life sentences and 75 years. No, no. When you come in the system, and a lot of them is coming in the system now old, because one of my partners told me, yeah, it was really rough. and it's not rough on older people. It's not rough on older people. You know, a lot of youngsters that's incarcerated, they don't they don't uh they don't do that towards old cats unless an old cat step out of his place. Cause you still got dudes that's 60 years old that's Crips, but in shape, and we entertain a youngster. Yeah, yeah. I was locked up with an old guy back in the early '90s. He was the first guy in the state of Texas to escape off the Bluebird, the chain bus. They called it Bluebird. Well, this dude was a killer. This dude was, and he felt like if you looked at a certain way, you was a punk, and he is gonna come try you. And he used to walk around with pistols and his wrist wrapped. And we talking about somebody that's kicking 70, but he was in so much good shape. He didn't look like it. And then they had another guy that used to be a boxing champion in prison. When they had boxing in prison, they had boxing in the state of Texas. This guy looked so young, but he was like 62 at the time. And you had to have something messing with this old dude, man. This dude gonna whoop the average guy and run through some that think they had something. And he used to still do them boxing exercises. And I thank God I lived on the tank with him. But he wasn't a bully. Yeah, if you was back in the early days, in the 80s, it was hard on dudes that wasn't from Texas. You know, you had to represent, but if you represented in the right way, you didn't have to worry about nothing. Like I told you, I had a partner that was from L.A. and it was the other guy. There was two guys. You had uh, Bo, Bo, and you had oh man, I ain't said this boy name in so long. I can't even get it out. But he was a blood way back then. Uh, man, what's my boy name? Good Lord, me and him had to come to understanding. Me and he got mad at me behind a female officer, Windog. Windog was on Eastham for a minute. He had went home and came back on a violation back to Eastham, but he got right on out and went back to L.A. doing real good. He had, you know, and he used to send pictures back to us down there on Eastham. But if if you was weak and out of state, yeah, you was out of there. Yeah, you was gonna have a man. You was gonna have a man. But if you fight, if you stab, or if you do whatever how you act, the next man is looking, and they don't want no trouble. Hey, I told you, when you tell somebody about just release, tell them hit that like button. Tell them hit that like button, cause ain't no telling what I might come back with next. H time at night. H time at night. And it's cool right now. It's cool right now. It's not, and the mosquitoes is not as biting. It ain't that much. Hadn't been no rain really. But guess what? I'll be back with something else.